So we were discussing Laplace transforms. In that we are deriving various properties on Laplace transforms. So far we discussed about a linearity property, and also we detected some. We deduced some standard Laplace transforms. Okay, so we'll continue the discussion today. Okay, so now write down the next property called first shifting theorem.
Sir, I had a doubt from yesterday's class.
Tell me.
Sir, in getting Laplace transformation of t power x,
Yes.
sir, in that we defined gamma function to get the solution, no, sir.
We defined gamma function.
To get the solution of this.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
So why didn't we just instead of defining gamma function as e power minus y into y power x minus 1, why didn't we just define e power minus st into t power x minus 1 as a function?
Gamma function. You are asking about the gamma function. This.
No, sir, in the transformation, in the transform of t power
See,
x,
you cannot change the definition of gamma. Is it clear?
we can make a different function. So why are we using gamma function? We could have defined e power minus st into t power x minus 1 as one function.
You do. Okay. So you simplify this. Okay. If you don't want to express this as a gamma function, if you want to express this as some other formula, you tell me how you will be able to get. Okay. So this is where we were discussing, right? So you
Yes,
are
sir.
telling why should we take st equal to y?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are trying to deduce a formula. We are trying to deduce a formula for Laplace of t power x. Okay. So as it is looking like gamma function, we are trying to take it as a substitution like this. Okay. If you don't want to use the substitution, if you say, sir, I will take some other substitution, fine. You take some other substitution and bring it to a closed formula. Okay. So tell me what is that closed formula. Okay. If that is mathematically sound, I will accept it. Okay. Try once. Finally, your final expression should not contain gamma. If you can do like that, I will appreciate you. But the point is, Laplace transform of a function is unique. Laplace transform of a function is unique. So whatever the method you apply, finally that will come to this form only. Okay. So if you want, you can test with some other substitution and do it. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now all of you write down this property. First shifting theorem. Write down the statement. If Laplace of f of t equal to f of s, if Laplace of f of t equal to f of s, then Laplace of e power a t into f of t, Laplace of e power a t into f of t equal to f of s minus a, equal to f of s minus a. So f of s minus a is nothing but Laplace of f of t. Laplace of f of t is f of s. There you replace s with s minus. There replace s with s minus. Okay. So what first shifting theorem says is, whenever a function is multiplied with exponential function, forget about this exponential function. Simply find out Laplace of this, and in that simply replace s with s minus a. Okay, so s is shifted to s minus a. S is shifted to s minus a because of this exponential function. Okay, just look at the proof once, which is very simple. We started with whatever is given. Laplace of f of t is f of s, and you consider LHS. LHS is Laplace of e power 8 into f of t. Apply the integral definition of Laplace. Integral definition of Laplace is 0 to infinity kernel into input function. So kernel is e power minus st, input function is e power a into f of t. Multiply these two exponentials. So at minus as. At minus as means if I take t common, a minus sc into t f of t. Now if I take minus common, then e power minus of s minus a into t f of t dt. Now I said Laplace transform is depending on the parameter. Whatever the parameter you use as a coefficient of t, that outcome is going to be a function of that parameter z. So here in this kernel, the parameter is s minus a. So outcome is function of s minus a. So Laplace of e power 8 into f of t is f of s minus a, which is nothing but Laplace of f of t, sc shifted to s minus a. Okay, write down. So in exams you may be asked to state and prove first shifting property. State and prove first shifting property means you have to write the hypothesis and also give the proof. So it's a simple proof. You just have to write down the definition of Laplace, multiply and bring it to a form. Did you complete the proof? Now, if it is e power minus at into f of t, then what will be the output? What will be Laplace of e power minus at into f of t? Can you tell me? Instead of e power at, if it is e power minus at, then what will be that Laplace transform? Tell me.
F of s plus a.
That's it. Simply replace a with minus a. So minus of minus a is s plus a. Okay. So Laplace of f of t, s is shifted to s plus a. Okay. So write that as a node. Laplace of e power minus a into f of t is f of s plus a, which is nothing but Laplace of f of t shift s to s plus a. So far we have written Laplace transform of several functions. Okay, like t power x, Laplace of t power x, Laplace of cos at, Laplace of sin at, and so on. So for all those things, I can, if I multiply with the exponential function, then you will get some other set of problems. Something like, see, you know Laplace of t square. Now the question is Laplace of e power 2t into t square. So whenever exponential is multiplied, remove it. Simply apply Laplace of t square. Apply first shifting theorem. Yes, replace s with here a is 2. So replace s with s minus 2. And you know Laplace of t square is 2 factorial by s power 2 plus 1. That is 2 by s cube. Shift s to s minus 2. So answer 2 by s minus 2. Okay. So like this I can create n number of problems. For example, if you have Laplace of e power minus 2t into cos 3t. Again an exponential function is multiplied. So find out Laplace of cos 3t, replace s with s plus 2. Laplace of cos 3t is s by s square plus 3 square, replace s with s plus 2. So that means answer is s plus 2 by s plus 2 whole square plus 9. Easy? Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so there are several properties that we have to prove. Okay, after proving each property, briefly I will demonstrate that property with one or two examples only. After completing all the properties, we'll do more number of problems on Laplace transforms, because many Laplace transforms involves application of multiple properties. Okay, so rather discussing too many problems on each property, first we shall understand the properties first, then apply these properties to solve the problem in an efficient manner. Okay. So if I want to, so take this problem as homework, Laplace of cos h2t into t square. Laplace of cos h2t into t square. Also take this transform, Laplace of e power t into t plus 1 whole square, t square plus 1 whole square. So can you see first shifting theorem in this first homework problem?
Yes, sir. We should write cos h2t in exponent.
Write the definition and apply linearity first, and then apply first shifting theorem. So evaluation of this transform involves two things, linearity property as well as first shifting. And clearly you can see here first shifting property, find out transform of this function, apply first shifting property. Shall I proceed? Okay, so far we discussed about linearity property, first shifting theorem. Now write down the next property called change of scale property. Okay, so property number 3, change of scale property. Change of scale property. Write down the statement. If Laplace of f of t equal to f of s, if Laplace of f of t equal to f of s, then Laplace of f of a t, Laplace of f of a t equal to 1 by a f of s by a. 1 by a f of s by a. That means 1 by a into Laplace of f of t, which is function of s. There you replace s with s by a, where a is positive. Where a is positive. Okay. First listen to the proof. Okay, so we are given Laplace of f of t as f of s. Consider LHS. LHS is Laplace of f of t. Again, I am writing the integral definition of Laplace. So that is 0 to infinity kernel into input function. Input function is f of t. Now I want to take a substitution. So I am taking a substitution as f of at as x. Okay, because finally I want to write this Laplace of something. So to do that, I'm writing this as x, at equal to x. Okay, then when at equal to x, then what is a dt? A dt is dx. Okay, therefore dt is 1 by a dx, and from this t equal to x by a. Now what will be the limits? As t tends to 0, as t tends to 0, x also tending to 0. As t tends to infinity, you can say x tending to infinity only when a is positive. If a is negative, then x will tend to minus infinity as t tends to infinity. That's why in order to have a positive infinite limit, so we'll assume that a is positive. Okay. So then what will be the LHS? 0 to infinity e power minus s into what is t now? T is x by a into f of a t is x. dt is dx by a. dt is dx by a. Take constants outside. Okay, so write the parameter like this. Minus s by a is a single parameter into x, f of x dx. Now this x is a dummy variable because outcome is function of the parameter which is a coefficient of this variable. So outcome is function of s by a multiplied with 1 by a. So f of s by a is nothing but f of s, s replaced with s by a. F of s is nothing but Laplace of f of t. Okay. So write down. So the key point is choosing at as a substitution. Write down. Shall I continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now take one problem. So given that Laplace of a function is like this, s plus 1 by s square minus 2s plus 2. Find out Laplace of f of 3t. Find out Laplace of f of 3t. So simply apply change of scale property. So here a equal to 3, which is positive. So Laplace of f of 3t is 1 by 3. Laplace of f of t, shift s to s by 3. So 1 by 3. Laplace of f of t is written here. Replace s with s by 3. And then simplify. And then simplify. Can you tell me the simplification? So what is Laplace of f of 3t? This is the answer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is about change of scale property. Okay. Now before going to the next property, we need to know one definition that is called Heaviside unit step function. Write down the definition of Heaviside unit step function. Okay. So it is defined for all a greater than or equal to 0. It is defined for all a greater than or equal to 0. HA of t. HA of t equal to another notation for HA of t is h of t minus a, h of t minus a equal to 0 if t is less than a, 1 if t greater than or equal to a. Okay, 0 when t less than a, 1 t greater than or equal to a. So for each value of a, h of t is a one function. Okay, if I give a equal to 2, h2 of t is one function. A equal to 3, h3 of t is another function. A equal to a equal to 4, h of t minus 4 is another function. Different values of a gives different Heaviside unit step functions, and you know by default the domain is starting from 0 to infinity for all functions that we are discussing in Laplace transforms. Okay, so a is somewhere here because a is non-negative. Let us say somewhere here. Okay, which is on t axis. Okay, t axis, this is its image of the t, which is ha of t axis. Don't write xy axis, there is no xy in our case. Okay, so domain is from 0 to infinity, in which a is somewhere here. So whenever t is less than a, the functional value is 0. Whenever t greater than or equal to a, the functional value is defined as 1. Therefore, okay, it is continuous for all values of t except at a. You can see the discontinuity at a because the left limit is 0, right limit is 1. So there is a finite jump at a t equal to a. So t equal to a is a finite jump discontinuity. Okay, so now as a special case, what will be h0 of t? What is h0 of t? h0 of t is nothing but h of t minus 0, which is nothing but h of t. So h of t is 0 whenever t less than 0, 1 whenever t greater than or equal to 0, according to this definition. Okay, and I said all functions in our Laplace transforms, their domain is from 0 to infinity. We assumed that, okay, here itself, if you remember, we assumed that all functions are defined from 0 to infinity. Okay, therefore as far as 0 to infinity is concerned, there is no difference between this h of t and the constant function 1. Both are one and the same. Both h of t and 1 are one and the same. Sometimes you will see h of t in problems. Okay, that is simply nothing but 1. And there is another notation for h of t, that is called u of t. So h of t, some others denote like ua of t or u of t minus a, or h of t is nothing but h of t minus a. So any notation is nothing but a Heaviside unit step function. Okay, shall I proceed? Okay, now we are interested to know Laplace transform of this Heaviside unit step function. What could be the Laplace transform of this Heaviside unit step function? Find out Laplace transform of this. Apply the definition, integral 0 to infinity kernel into input. Input is h of t minus a. Now what kind of function this is? H of t minus a, it's a discontinuous function. So how do you integrate discontinuous functions over an interval?
Split at the discontinuity.
From where to where? 0 to a?
A to infinity.
That's it. So write it as 0 to a, 0 to a to infinity. But in 0 to a, what is h of t minus a? 0 to a means t less than a, right? So when t less than a, h of t minus a is 0. Therefore this integral vanishes. 0 into anything 0, definite integral 0 is 0. But in a to infinity, what is h of t minus a?
1.
So substitute those values and tell me the simplification. So what's your answer? What is integration? So it's just
E minus a is
e power minus s by s, because this integral is 0. E power minus s integration is e power minus s t by minus s. You are integrating with respect to t. Apply the limits from a to infinity. So upper limit is 0 if you assume s is positive. Okay, and minus of minus plus e power minus s by s. So this is e power minus s by s. Therefore Laplace of h of t minus a is e power minus s by s. So as a special case, if you substitute a equal to 0, what do you get? Laplace of h of t equal to 1 by s. But you know 1 by s is nothing but Laplace of 1. So from this also you can see that 1 is nothing but h of t. Laplace of h of t is 1. Laplace of h of t is 1 by s equal to Laplace of 1. Shall I proceed? Now write down the next property, which is called second shifting property. Previously we have seen first shifting property. I think I have written it as theorem. Okay, I'll write it as okay. If I write so either you call it as first shifting property, second shifting property, or you call it as first shifting theorem, second shifting theorem. Anything is fine. They're all properties. So second shifting theorem or second shifting property. Write down the statement. If Laplace of f of t equal to f of s, if Laplace of f of t equal to f of s, then Laplace of h of t minus a into f of t minus a. Laplace of h of t minus a into f of t minus a equal to e power minus a s into f of s. That means f of s is nothing but Laplace of f of t. Laplace of f of t. That means the variable t minus a is shifted to t when this function is multiplied with the h of Heaviside unit step function. Okay, just look at the proof once. So we will start with whatever is given. So it is given that Laplace of f of t is f of s. Consider LHS. Apply the integral definition of this. So that is 0 to infinity kernel into input function. And you know h of t minus a is a split function. It's a split function or a discontinuous function. Therefore you have to split the interval of integration as from 0 to a and a to infinity. So 0 to a and a to infinity. And in this interval h of t minus a is 0, therefore first integral vanishes, and in this interval h of t minus a is 1, therefore second integral reduces to a to infinity e power minus st f of t minus a, because this is 1. Now you want to bring this to some Laplace transform kind. In order to bring this to Laplace transform definition, limits must be from 0 to infinity, but here the limits are from a to infinity. So we have to take some substitution. So what could be the substitution? To bring from a to infinity to 0 to infinity, what substitution will be useful?
T minus
A
A.
plus A.
T minus A. If you take T minus A equal to x, dt equal to dx. Okay. So when you say t tending to a, x will tending to 0. If you take t plus a, that will go to t to a. We want limit to be 0. That's why take t minus a equal to x. Am I right? So as t
Also, I
tends
was
to a,
saying we should take it T plus A.
hmm,
Here we're taking X plus A like that.
yeah, t equal to x plus a. That is also fine. Okay. So as t tending to a, x tending to 0. Okay, as t tending to infinity, x tending to infinity. Okay, so therefore this integral becomes 0 to infinity e power minus s into what is t? T is x plus a, and what is t minus a? X. What is dt? Dx. So in this, what is constant? You are integrating with respect to x. Write this as product of two exponentials. So that is e power minus sx into e power minus as f of x dx. So this is not involving any x variable. So therefore it is acting like a constant. Take it out. E power minus as 0 to infinity e power minus sx f of x dx. So x is a dummy variable. So I said this integral depends only on s. In that sense, it is nothing but a Laplace transform of f. So what will the output? Output is function of
F of
s.
X.
That is what I wrote here. This f of s is nothing but Laplace of f of t. Okay, so the key point here is just using the definition of Laplace and taking t minus a equal to x as a substitution. Okay, write down. Shall I proceed? Shall I?
Yes.
Okay. Now I would like to know. Okay. Finished up to this? Should finish the proof? Okay. So now I would like to know what would be this Laplace of h of t minus a into f of t. What would be Laplace of h of t minus a into f of t? Original property is h of t minus a into f of t minus a. I'm asking what could be this result? Can I write it as e power minus as into something? What could be something? Can I write it as f of s plus a? Is that true? Or anything else? Answer me. Let us see what it would be. I'm erasing this f of t. Okay, so we'll see what is this. So erase, 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 erase. Take substitution like this only. Then dt equal to dx, because I'm taking the substitution mainly to change these limits. Okay, so I want from a to infinity to 0 to infinity, so same substitution will work. So then what would happen? Erase. Then what is t? Now what is t now? Tell me. T is x plus a. Here also t is there, so t is x plus a. dt is dx. So when you split this, you'll get like this. So then what is this? So what is the outcome? Here it is not f of x. It is f of it is not f of x or f of t. F of t plus a. Okay. So input function is not f of t. So when input function is not f of t, then you cannot write it as Laplace of f of t. It has to be Laplace of whatever the input function is there. Okay. So because x is a dummy variable, okay, because x is a dummy variable, I can write like this: 0 to infinity e power minus st f of t plus a dt. Okay, because this final simplification does not depending on the variable that you are using. Outcome is function of s only. Okay, so this is nothing but e power minus as into Laplace of f of t plus a. Okay, that means only when f of t is multiplied, then you have to shift t to t plus a. So anyway, the variable is shifting through a distance of a units. If t is there, t is shifted to t plus a. If t minus a is there, t minus a will be shifted to t a units. That is what you see in original proof. So t minus a is shifted to t. So naturally, when t is there, t will be shifted to t plus a. Is it okay? Only thing you should not. Okay, you should not see it as, should not write it as f of s plus a. So Laplace of f of t plus a. Okay, and this will be more useful in doing problems on Laplace transforms. This result will be more useful. This result will be more useful when you are doing inverse Laplace transforms. When you are doing inverse Laplace transforms. Okay, so I'm deleting this. I have written only to make you understand. Okay, so write this as a note. Laplace of h of t minus a into f of t is e power minus a into Laplace of f of t plus a. So shift t to t plus a, find its Laplace transform, simply multiply with e power minus a. Shall I proceed? Now how this first shifting theorem will be useful? Sorry, how this second shifting theorem will be useful? We will see now. Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now before seeing the usefulness of the theorem, I want you to find out Laplace transform of this function. If f of t is defined as cos t whenever 0 less than t less than pi, and sin t greater than pi. Okay, don't worry whether the function is defined at pi or not, because integration is not going to be affected by omission or deletion of one point. Okay, so because this may be a discontinuous function at pi, so there is no use for finding Laplace transform, even if you include define some point at pi also. Okay, so don't really worry whether t less than pi or t greater than or equal to pi, or whether t greater than pi or t greater than or equal to pi. Okay, so how do you find out this is called split function, right? This is called split function. How do you find out Laplace transform of such a split function?
Zero to pi and pi to infinity.
First use the definition, right? So 0 to infinity e power minus st f of t dt. Write down the definition of Laplace. Now then because it is a discontinuous, okay, or it is a split function, split the interval of integration as 0 to pi and pi to infinity. In 0 to pi the function is e power minus st into cos t dt, and pi to infinity the function is e power minus st into sin t dt. Okay, now integrate. Do you remember integration formulas? What is integral of e power ax into cos bx dx? What is the integral of e power ax into sin bx dx? If you remember these formulas, you will be able to integrate. Otherwise, you can't. Tell me what is integration of e power x into cos bx? E power ax by a square plus b square a cos bx plus b sin bx. And this is e power ax by a square plus b square. Tell me, do you remember or not?
So you can use integration by parts.
That will take time. Okay, sometimes better to use the formulas directly. If you want to do, if you don't remember, there is no other go except applying integration by parts and simplification. Okay, but this is a standard formula like integration of sin x cos x. You can remember this as a formula. Okay, so that our solution will go smoothly without much difficulty. So this will be, so here a equal to minus s and b equal to, what is b? B is 1. Can you see that? B is 1. B is 1. X is t. X is t. So what is this? E power minus st by minus s whole square plus 1 square a cos bx 1, sorry, minus s cos t plus b is 1 sin t with the limits from 0 to pi plus e power minus st by s square plus 1 square, sorry, minus s whole square plus minus s whole square plus 1 square a sin bx minus s sin t minus b cos bx minus 1 cos t, the limits from pi to infinity. Okay, Now substitute the limits and simplify. So upper limit minus lower limit, give a bracket for upper limit, bracket for lower limit, simplify. Same thing do for the other integral. So what is upper limit? E power minus pi s by s square plus 1. I am giving a bracket for the upper limit minus s. What is cos pi? Minus 1 plus sin pi is 0. So this is upper limit minus lower limit is e power 0 is 1 by s square plus 1. Cos 0 is 1. So minus s into 1. Sin 0 is 0. Lower limit is over. Close the bracket. Okay. Now similarly open the bracket. Okay. So apply the upper limit. So as t tends to infinity, this will go to 0 provided s is positive. So we'll assume that s is positive. So 0 into anything 0. Okay. Minus e power minus pi s. Okay. E power minus pi s by s square plus 1. S square plus 1. Sin pi is 0. Minus 1 into cos pi is minus 1. Close the bracket. Close the bracket. Now simplify whatever is remaining. So this is what? S into e power minus pi s by s square plus 1 plus s by s square plus 1 s by s square plus 1 minus into minus plus minus e power minus pi s by s square plus 1. Okay, so if I take e power minus pi s common, so e power minus pi s common, that is s minus 1 plus s by s square plus 1. Am I right? Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
So there is an amount of time involved here, even if I apply the formula directly. If you don't apply the formula directly and if you want to do integration by parts, it will take some more time. Okay, but finally you will arrive to the answer, but it is taking time. Okay, and this second shifting theorem gives a beautiful way of finding this Laplace transform easily without much effort. Okay, so for that you need to use a small technique. The technique is you should be able to write this as a single formula. Can you write this as a single formula? What is this looking like? F of t is defined something like this. Some function of t whenever 0 less than t less than t1. In the previous case, f1 is cos t, t1 is pi. I am writing a general case. f2 of t, sorry, f2 of t. Okay, whenever t greater than t1. That is how it is looking like. Agreed? I just wrote this general case f1, f2, 0 to t1, t greater than t1. Okay, now the point is, can I write an equivalent formula? I don't want to use intervals like this. I want to write it as a single formula, this f of t. Can you do that? Heaviside unit step function will give that feasibility. Just observe how I am writing this. Okay. First function plus second function minus first function into h of t minus t1 into h of t minus t1. First function plus second minus first into h of t minus t1. I am telling these two are same. If you want, you can check. There are two cases: t less than t1, t greater than t1. What is the first case? Assume that t less than t1. If I assume t less than t1, what will be h of t minus t1? Can you tell me?
0.
0. So this is 0 whenever t less than t1, 1 whenever t greater than t1. So this is 0. 0 into anything, 0. So 0 into anything, 0. So 0 plus f1 of t, f1 of t. Did you get f1 of t in the first case? Is this formula giving f1 of t in the first case?
Yes.
Now what is the second case? T greater than t1. When t greater than t1, what is h of t minus t1?
1.
1. So this is 1. So second case, h of t minus t1 is 1. So when this is 1, so f1 minus f1 gets cancelled. Are you getting f2 in the for the second case or not? Okay. Are you getting f2?
Yes, sir.
So if you can write like this, then what is the advantage? No, alternate method. Now all of you observe this carefully. So alternatively, now how can I write f of t? F of t is first function. First function is cos t plus what is the second function? Second function is sin t minus cos t into h of t minus t1, t minus pi. Do you agree? That is what I wrote. First plus second minus first into h of t minus t1. Okay. Now I want Laplace of f of t. Apply Laplace on both sides. Okay. So what is Laplace of f of t? Now I'm applying linearity property directly. Can I apply linearity property directly? Can I apply linearity property and apply Laplace to each term? Because Laplace of sum equal to sum of Laplace. Agreed or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Laplace of cos t plus Laplace of h of t minus pi into, let us say, g of t. What is g of t? Sin t minus cos t. Now how do you what is Laplace of cos t? S by s square plus 1 plus, now can I apply second shifting property to this? What the corollary of second shifting property says? Laplace of h of t minus a into f of t is e power minus as into Laplace of f of t plus a. Instead of f, you are having g. Do you agree? So can I apply this property with a equal to pi? Then what happens? Then this would be, tell me, e power minus pi s into Laplace of g of t plus pi. Do you agree? But what is Laplace of what is g of t plus pi? G of t plus pi or g of pi plus t is nothing but a sin pi plus t minus cos pi plus t. Sin pi plus t minus cos pi plus t. What is sin pi plus t? What is cos pi plus t? Sin pi plus t is all silver teacups.
Minus 70.
Hmm?
Minus 70.
Minus sin t. What is cos pi plus t? minus cos t, minus of minus plus cos t. Agreed? Okay. So okay. Okay. So what is the simplification now? So this is s by. Okay. So this is s by s square plus 1. Cos t is s by s square plus 1, and this is uh, minus 1 by s square plus 1. Okay. Simplify this and tell me whether these two are equal to this or not. Apply Laplace of sin t cos t minus sin t.
It's the same.
Okay, na? So it's the same. So this is equal to let me write it as e power minus pi s into s minus 1 by plus s by s square plus 1. So that I will have some gap. Okay. So now if I write, so this is s by s square plus 1. Okay. Square plus 1 plus e power minus pi s into, okay, Laplace of cos t is s by s square plus 1 minus 1 by s square plus 1. Okay, so this is e power minus pi s into s minus 1 plus s by s square plus 1. Okay, so both are same. Now what is the beauty in this? There is no involvement of integration. We simply applied second shifting theorem, and through algebraic manipulation we got the Laplace transform. Is it fine? So that is how second shifting theorem will be useful. Okay. So second shifting theorem will be useful to find out the Laplace transform of a split function. To find out the Laplace transform of a split function. Okay. So now I'll just write down the generalization of the split function, and we'll take a break. Okay. So if the function is like this, you can write this. Suppose if you have a three split functions, f of t is equals to something like f1 of t, 0 less than t less than t1, f2 of t, t1 less than t less than t2. Okay, f3 of t, t greater than t2. Now can you tell me how to write down f of t in a single formula? First function plus second minus first. What is second? F2 of t minus f1 of t, t into h of t minus t1 plus third minus second, f3 of t minus f2 of t into h of t minus t2, t minus t2. t minus t2. Okay, you can see this each case easily. When t is less than t1, 0 is here, t1 is here, t2 is here. When t is less than t1, t less than t2 also. Therefore, h of t minus t1, h of t minus t2 will become 0. Therefore, you will get f1 of t. Case 1 is over. Let us say case 2, t greater than t is in between t1 to t2. That means t greater than t1, t less than t2. Whenever t less than t2, this is 0. So this is 0. Whenever t greater than t1, this is 1. So f1 minus f1 gets cancelled. f2 you are getting. What is case 3? Suppose if t is greater than t2. When t is greater than t2, therefore t greater than t1 also. When t is greater than t2, t greater than t1 also. Therefore h of t minus t2 is 1. h of t minus t1 is also 1. Okay, f2 minus f2 gets cancelled. Okay, f2 minus f2 gets cancelled. F1 minus F1 gets cancelled. What is remaining is F3. F3 you are getting. So in a similar way, you can write down for 4 split functions, 5 split functions, and so on. Okay. So once you know how to write a split function into a single formula with the help of Heaviside unit step function, simply apply second shifting property and then get the Laplace transform easily through algebraic simplification. Is it fine? Did you got this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So write down this formula. Now we'll take a break for 10 minutes. We'll come back by 11:20. Okay. So I will start the next session on at 11:20. We'll do some problems, some more problems on second shifting theorem, and then we'll proceed to another property.